Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Nikita Singhal. Today I'm going to start the second part of bioinorganic chemistry. In the first part, we have discussed what is a bioinorganic chemistry and role of some specific metal ions in biological systems. In today's presentation, I will cover enzymes and cofactors, different macrocyclic rings and their structure and function of hemoglobin, myoglobin, chlorophyll and vitamin B12. Enzymes are present in all living organisms. They are protein substances, act as biocatalysts. So, enzyme regulates the rate at which chemical reactions proceeds, and in the last of reaction, it does not change. So, they are unaltered in the process. The examples are trypsin, maltase, amylase, etc. They are highly specific in their action. One enzyme can act specifically on one substrate. For example, invertase will work on sucrose and hydrolyze it into glucose and fructose. Enzymes are highly sensitive with respect to temperature and pH. They show the maximum activity at pH 7. At very high temperature, enzymes get denaturated. In this diagram, we have shown that substrate can convert into product without any catalyst, but it requires high amount of activation energy. Once enzyme act as a catalyst, it lowers the activation energy and it facilitates the reaction to convert the substrate into product. Here the other entity which is known as cofactor, they are the helper molecule which helps enzymes for the biochemical transformation. They are the non-protein chemical compounds. They can be classified into two categories. It can be inorganic or organic. Inorganic entities are metal ions, as well as organic compounds are known as coenzyme. This coenzyme can further classified into two categories on the basis of their binding nature. It can be prosthetic group or it can be co-substrate. Prosthetic groups are those coenzymes which can permanently bound to protein part, or they can form covalent bond, while the co-substrate are those parts which are bound to the protein with a shorter time or with weak attraction forces. Cofactors helps the enzymes to carry the reaction. For example, biotin acts as a coenzyme for pyruvate carboxylase enzyme to convert the pyruvate into oxaloacetate. Similar manner, flavin and heme are also cofactors which are involved in different redox reactions. In an enzyme without cofactor is known as apoenzyme, while in presence of cofactor it is known as holoenzyme. Here we have shown three rings: porphyrin, chlorine and corrin. These all are heterocyclic or macrocyclic compound. Any cyclic compound which contains two different atoms are known as heterocyclic compound. So here the nitrogen is present as a different element other than the carbon, and five-membered unsaturated nitrogen containing ring is known as pyrrole. So here the four different pyrrole nuclei are attached together with methane bridges. In the first ring, porphyrin, it is completely conjugated with 22 pi electronic system, and substituted porphyrins are known as porphyrin. While in second ring, that is chlorine ring, this ring is present mainly in the chlorophyll system. The main difference is that this contains 20 pi electronic system. One ring is partially hydrogenated in compared to porphyrin rings. In third ring, that is corrin ring, the major difference is that it is similar to chlorine, but here the two rings are attached with direct bonding instead of methane bond. Now coming to the hemoglobin. As we all know, hemoglobin is present in all our blood, in the blood of human beings. It is the iron containing metalloprotein which is present in RBC. Its major function is transportation of gases. So it carries oxygen from lungs to the tissues of body. Hemoglobin is made up of two words, heme and globin. Heme is a prosthetic group which is present in around 6%, and globin is a globular protein which is alpha to beta to tetramer. That means there is a 2 alpha and 2 beta chains are present having 141 and 146 amino acids. Its molecular weight is almost 65,000, or in 100 ml blood around 50 milligram of hemoglobin is present. Hemoglobin is a conjugated protein where iron is present in the center of the macrocyclic ring. It is known as metalloporphyrin. That means porphyrin ring here act as a ligand. Iron is present in center, and the 4 nitrogen atom of porphyrin rings are present at corners. It opts as an octahedral structure, so the 2 axial positions are occupied with different molecules. One is attached with the nitrogen imidazole of histidine molecule, and the other is occupied with the water. This is a 1 subunit of hemoglobin. The hemoglobin contains 4 subunits in the 1 molecule. Now we will see the mechanism how the hemoglobin helps for transportation of gases. First, hemoglobin has a good binding nature with oxygen, so it reacts with oxygen and forms the oxyhemoglobin. In place of water molecule, oxygen can bind, so it will release the water molecule. In the next step, this oxyhemoglobin will helps to supply this oxygen to the rest of body. So this oxygen will liberate and use for the cellular respiration process. So oxygen will react with the glucose and hydrolyze into and convert it into carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. Generation will take place. This CO2 will again react with the hemoglobin and forms the carboxyhemoglobin. With the carboxyhemoglobin liberates the CO2 for the cellular respiration process. During all process, the iron will remain in +2 state. Here we have shown the structure of heme, in which at the center of the heme, iron is present in +2 state. There are the 4 pyrrole nuclei which are pyrrole nuclei present, and the iron is linked with the nitrogen atom. These 4 pyrrole nuclei are substituted with different groups. All 4 pyrrole nuclei having 1 CH3 group, 2 pyrrole nuclei having the 2 vinyl group, that is CH double bond CH2, while the 2 other lower rings contains the 2 propionic acid as a substitute. Myoglobin is the other iron containing metalloprotein which is present mainly in the muscle cells. Myoglobin is similar to the hemoglobin's 1 subunit. It also contains iron in +2 state. Its major function is storage of oxygen in the muscle cells. When oxyhemoglobin transfers the oxygen to the myoglobin which is present in muscle cell, it stores there and until it is required for metabolism process. Its molecular weight is almost 18,000 and 40 gram myoglobin is present in adult humans. Its structure is similar to 1 subunit of hemoglobin, so it contains 1 iron atom having +2 state, and myoglobin has high affinity for oxygen, so it cannot transport oxygen. Rather, it stores the oxygen. Because of myoglobin's high strength of oxygen, different organisms can hold their breath for a longer time. Now coming to the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment which present in all green plants, green leaves, green stems, algae, etc. It is very essential pigment which is whose major function is photosynthesis. So it converts the light energy into chemical energy. All plants react in presence of chlorophyll. They take the CO2 and water in presence of sunlight and convert them into glucose with liberation of the oxygen. Chlorophyll acts as a photoreceptor. Its major function is to absorb the light radiation and this transfer to the other photosystem. So it helps to convert light energy into chemical energy. Here we can see the structure of chlorophyll. It is also a macrocyclic compound having the chlorine ring, and magnesium is present in the center of the chlorine ring. Here we can say one R group is shown at the right upper end side. This R group can be CH3 or aldehydic group. If it is CH3, we can say this is a chlorophyll A, or if it is an aldehyde group, it will be chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A is a major primary pigment required for the photosynthesis purpose. It is bluish green in color, and R will be CH3 in chlorophyll A. While if it is aldehyde group is present at R position, then it is a chlorophyll B and it is an accessory pigment. So almost 3:1 ratio is present in plants for chlorophyll A versus B. Here the magnesium plays a major role to provide the rigidity to the skeleton, and it can transfer the excitation energy to the redox strain. The major structure perspective, we can say here's a long chain is present, which is a phytol chain. In compared to other 4 ring, there's a one cyclopentanone ring is also present, which is attached to the right hand side lower ring. In vitamin B12, it is also known as cobalamin. It contains the cobalt as a central metal ion. It is its structure is very complex in nature. It is first naturally occurring cobalt containing compound found in nature. It is widely distributed animal but does not present in plant sources. It plays major roles in our body. It is a water soluble vitamin and it helps in metabolism. It is a cofactor for DNA synthesis. It is very important for functioning of nervous system and brain. It also required for the maturation of RBC in bone marrow. Its structure is similar to the sum of porphyrin ring, but the major difference is that it is binded with the A and D rings are binded together without the methine bridge linkage, as well as the ring is not completely conjugated. So it contains the Corrin nuclei. Cobalt is present at the center of the ring, and its one position is attached with the derivative of dimethyl benzimidazole, which is further attached to the ribose phosphate sugar, and this ribose phosphate sugar, oxygen of phosphate is attached to the 2-methyl aminopropanol, which is further linked to the D ring with the peptide linkage. And here the cyanide, if R group is present as a cyanide ion, then we will say this vitamin B12, it is not vitamin B12, it is a cyanocobalamin. But if it is present as 5-deoxyadenylyl moiety, then this will make a vitamin coenzyme B12. So vitamin B12 can be formed in different on the basis of R group, it can form a different structure. Like cyanide can form the cyanocobalamin if it is present as OH moiety, and we can say it is a hydroxycobalamin. Its deficiency can cause severe damages to our body, especially to brain and nervous system. In its deficiency, patient can suffer with the mania or psychosis, which are the mental disorder in which patient cannot recognize what is real, what is fake. So the delusions can occur, hallucination problem can occur. Its major symptoms are fatigue, lack of enthusiasm, difficult walking, depression, pale skin. Except that there is one more disease, pernicious anemia, can occur in absence of or in deficiency of vitamin B12, in which RBC will not form in enough quantity. So tiredness and confusion will create. Almost 2 to 3 microgram vitamin B12 is required per day. Its major source are animal products like meat, fish, eggs, except that milk also contains the vitamin B12. So in today's presentation, we have covered enzymes, cofactors, and mainly structure of hemoglobin, myoglobin, their functions, chlorophyll, and vitamin B12. We have seen the deficiency of vitamin B12 can cause different factors. So role of some specific metals ion is required. Metals play different roles in our body, so they have to be taken in proper quantities so our body can function properly. Thank you.